Good evening, my crafty friends. This is Lori, Girl on the Ridge. I finally finished Jocelyn. She was a big one. This is 2 signatures, 120 pages, in a chipboard. Oh, I didn't even take measurements of this one. She is a little over 9 by 6 and almost a 3-inch spine. So she's a big one. I used Artie Mae's Her Coffee Kit, a bunch of vintage lace. Here is a little cowboy boot, fashion boot. This is all Hobby Lobby lace, and the vintage lace is in the little collage down here. Hitch post. You just press it down and it'll fling open. Woo! It's a big one, but it lays pretty good. So this is Jocelyn. Jocelyn is a young girl growing up in Oakwood in the 1800s. Just turned 18, ready to travel the world. And her pop broke his leg and can't take care of the mercantile. So guess what? Jocelyn has to stay and take care of the store. So this is Jocelyn when she was a little girl. And we just have paper, a lot of bags in here because I was thinking of mercantile. And there's a little tea bag that I stamped on. And then they had tons of coffee in the mercantile. This is actually a bag I just made out of wrapping paper that Marshall's had. It's glossy. It's really cool to work with. And there's coffee tags. And more, just a lot of little bags in the guest check. And that's a altered clip. And just another little vintage book. And she liked her flowers. And this was a letter that her mama had wrote her before she passed away. Naturally, they always... And then that's part of her mama's dress. And Jocelyn loved to order stuff in the store, and her papa was very, whatever you want, dear. So she ordered a lot of perfumes and creams, and this is all from Screech Owl, her advertisement, which I absolutely love. So she ordered all that stuff in the store. These are bottles that I actually just went on Pinterest, punched in glass bottles, traced it on a manila folder. Coffee dyed them and hand cut them and just been decorating. You'll see them throughout the whole book. Here is a photo that I put in a tea bag and encased it with beeswax from, I think it was Southern Scribe, that she had a video that was really cool. That's why that looks glossy. And here I actually used my embroidery machine and put vintage on there. And a little tag. Hopefully I can. And this is another little letter. This opens up. This was Clemmy's Creations, and then I seen Yvonne tied it, and I love that. And it has the little book. And this is just some old pictures of Jocelyn's family. There's another little letter, an invitation that her mama had gotten that she saved. And there's Jocelyn just dreaming about her life and feeding her chickens. And this actually came out of an 1880 book, Home Again or Coming Home. And I just shrunk down the pages. This was 1 page. And it was a beautiful book. So I scanned it and then shrunk down the pages. And you'll see that throughout the book too. And then there's a poem on each side. So it's fitting. And then this is another little envelope paper. Now when Jocelyn would go to work in the mercantile, you'd have old Jebediah would come in. This is another one of those booklets. He was the town busybody, and he'd always go, "Jossie, girl, you got to get yourself a man." And she would just ignore him most of the time because she was going to travel the world. And there's just some different things in there. Until, of course, the new rancher rode in, and woohoo! Look at him. When Jocelyn seen him, she was speechless. He came in the store and he needed all his goods, flour and sugar and coffee. And there's his list and a bottle of whiskey. And he even asked for a catalog. So I found a Montgomery Ward catalog, $18.95. So he can order a new hat and clothes. And she had told him he has to come back for coffee because they were out of it. And poor Jebediah almost choked because he knew the stock room was full, but that was Jossie's way of getting him back there. Come back to the store. So that is Cord, who rode into town. Is going to sweep her off her feet. And there's some writing spots. And there was a town get-together, but Jossie wouldn't ask them, so she just kind of stayed back and let him socialize with all the other women, giggling over him. And that's just a little snippet tuck. Excuse me. And a little pocket with just a little... This book was getting so fat, I really had to stop. And when Jocelyn got upset, she'd go to the store and order stuff. So she was making an order. And she was ordering tea sets. And she was getting a little carried away. But that's what we do. And then there's another list that she was making. Another tag. And then one of her orders come in. She got all these. Now these. What's the layaway tag from Tattered Dream with perfume. Advertisement from Screech Owls. Then she ordered all the perfumes, and there's a letter that was on the old library card. So she was filling up the store anyway, and there's a pocket in there. And that's just a card. Another little pocket in there. Paper is beautiful. Another little pocket. And she did like her flowers and music paper. And then she got some, this is a little booklet. And that tucks in behind that. And then she ordered all her flower seeds. And they were all coming in. And then, because they were also mercantile, but they were also a post office, so a letter came in for Cord, and it was written in a woman's handwriting, and it had a scent on it. So that kind of really made her jealous. So she ordered shoes. So these were old shoes. So the store was going to get really full. And there's her with her chickens again. She didn't know that the letter was actually from Cord's sister. And then there's a little clip and another little tuck spot with her mama's dress. I'm going to put something there. Pocket and more perfume bottles. And more tags. These are so pretty. A lot of tuck spots and a lot of writing spots. This was just a old piece of, I forgot who this was. It's really pretty, but it just looks old. And I coffee dyed it, writing paper. And this will be listed on my Etsy. And just some nice crinkly paper. This is her mama when she was a young girl. And then there's just some writing paper. That's his first signature. And here is just another little list for the store of what they need to order. Yeah, we'll tie that later. And more writing spots. And another little perfume, I think. And that's a little tag. And it's a little bag. And there was another party going on, and she was just too proud, so she was not going to ask him. So she just sat there and churned butter while, again, he was mingling with the other little, not little girls, the older girls that were giggling and trying to get Cord's attention. But his eye was on Jocelyn, but they were both too stubborn. So she was over there churning butter. And then she got upset and she went home and she read some letters that her mama had given her about how she had fell in love with her papa. So that's all in one of these in our imaginations again. I'll tie that later, otherwise I'll never get through this video. And more flour and sugar in a little tuck spot. And another little snippet of all different this is the vintage lace and just a mixture and some more receipts. And then another letter came and that just kind of really, really upset Jocelyn. And then there's a little tuck spot. And some more little flower packets that she was ordering. And more advertising. This is paper. And then this is just a little file folder. And another little advertising that goes in there. And then we got canning and some more little tags. And book belongs to. And another little ticket. I hope this is light. And this was another one of those. This is a Tim Holtz in a tea bag filled or covered in lace. It's kind of neat. So that was just an old relative of hers. Another little vintage bag. And it was time for Cord to come back in, and he got a bunch of supplies and his flour and sugar and his list. But this time he bought perfume. And poor Jocelyn, just her eyes welled up with tears, and she was just lost. She felt so bad. But she wouldn't say anything because she was too proud. And that jealousy. This is another postcard. So pretty soon there's going to be a big dance coming up. Beautiful. And Debediah. There's another little. Is going to remind her about the dance coming up and to ask Cord. And then she goes and Cord has brought her perfume and wild daisies and asked her to the dance. And then there he is wooing her. That's another little booklet with the little poem on it with a little flip. So they go to the dance, and there's a fiddler. So this is old vintage music sheet from the 40s, I think. Whew, I'm out of breath. And Jocelyn's all happy, and she's being nice to her customers again. And they danced all night. And that was it. And then they ended up together. So there's another part of that book. And then the real story begins. All because she told him to come back for coffee. See? A little tag. And some more goodies. So this is my Fat Jocelyn book. And it will be in my Etsy. And I'll be back shortly with a sewing journal. See you soon. Bye.